There it goes. And Audacity. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Boom.
And we are recording.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Yep, I'm ready.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Pixel Life. This is episode 48 for April 16th, 2019. And this week we're going to cover some of the first details that have hit about the PlayStation 5 that have leaked out recently. Microsoft had an Inside Xbox spectacular that, yeah, we'll talk about it. The Xbox sad is really apt. And of course, Mr. Robert Steltenpool is going to give us a breakdown about everything Fallen Order. And the most important, the reason everyone's here, we're going to finally button down the last 7 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe breakdown and get the definitive 21 ranked from best to worst. And to do that, I have Mr. Shannon Moore with me.
Hello, and very similarly to, or actually opposite of Xbox, my most recent release will be all physical.
Thank you. Thank you. Also, I'm just going to keep moving. Mr. Robert Steltenpool is here.
Yeah, man. Great. Glad to be here.
All right. So you want to get at us, head on over to thatpixellife.com, get up all on the links, and you can follow us on Twitter at thatpixellife. Get on our YouTube and subscribe there if you want. Get at us at the Facebook group. That's where we do a lot of post a lot of news, talk a lot of games, do all that type of stuff. If you feel like throwing us a buck, we'd appreciate it. If you want to get up on the Patreon, but outside of that, that's kind of it. How have y'all been? How's the week been treating you?
No, dude, I'm living the dream. I don't know about you, Robbie.
I'm doing pretty good, man. I am. Living that Star Wars excited life. Got a lot of Star Wars. Got a lot of Star Wars this weekend. Got a lot of awesome Disney Plus information from this weekend as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to see one of the greatest single game collapses of a team I've ever seen. So
I don't know what you're talking about. We can move on from there.
And you know, I say this not rubbing in your face. Just I don't know how it happened. Like
the lightning getting swept was amazing. You're right. I don't know how that happened.
Yes, because if anyone knows me at all, it's that Robbie pays very close attention to hockey. What goes on,
especially the inner workings of the Columbus Blue Jackets. So
Next thing I'm going to tell you some freaking cricket scores. You know,
you got to get them in the wickets. That's all I know. But anyway. So Disney Plus, though,
oh no!
Oh no! Did we lose Zach?
Did we lose our host? He's got the Robert De Niro face frozen on his screen and everything.
He does.
$7. Like,
whoa! Okay,
Zach, at $7, we need you to completely start over.
What?
We need you to start over at $7. Because you disconnect, like, I don't know if you disconnected, but you stalled horribly.
Gotcha. So I'll just do the whole thing over. But yes. So it wasn't on the outline, but I thought we should talk about it. Disney Plus coming out at $7 a month. Like, yeah, I'll do that with my 2 kids and those things. Like, take my $7. Take it. Like, you can have it all. Just give me my Disney stuff.
For $7, they are giving us all Disney movies, all Pixar movies, all Disney Channel stuff, all Disney Channel original movies. So that means Johnny Tsunami 1 and 2. What's up, Shannon? I know you know what those movies are. All classic Disney films is giving us all TGI Friday shows. So nice. Boy Meets World, stuff like that. It's also giving us DuckTales. It's giving us Tailspin. It's giving us Darkwing Duck. And I haven't gotten this confirmed, but I hope it's giving us Gargoyles. Like I'll be incredibly happy because that show is so underrated. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's good, and I would really like to see them bring back Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers too, because
Yes.
I'd smash. But anyway,
whoa, wow, man.
Oh. making everybody feel awkward up in this bitch right now.
The only two cartoons that you're allowed to talk about that is Jessica Rabbit and Lola Bunny. That is it. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll give you those. I'll give you those.
But
I'm giving you none. I'm giving you zero. No. This is not a conversation we're having. Zero is your score.
So, but I do want to just also add that the Loki TV show, the Winter Soldier and Falcon, the Vision and Scarlet Witch, the Mandalorian, it looks incredible. Just every Star Wars movie is going to be on there too. Mm-hmm. If I understand correctly, all of Clone Wars will be on there as well. Like, I'm going to say this now on April 16th at 11:11 p.m.
Make a wish.
Netflix better look out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is the reason why Netflix is pouring a bunch of money into their original content right now, because they need to find something. And I mean, hey, I'll keep my Netflix account to watch Umbrella Academy, or at least re-up it when it launches, but
and give me movies like Triple Frontier. Or heck, all the shows that they have on there now, that classic shows that I can just rewatch, is awesome. Sure. So, and I'm not saying Netflix is dead. I'm just saying that Netflix may finally have a true
competitor,
because I meet a lot of people who are either Hulu or Netflix. Like, like I don't necessarily think they cross over, because Hulu takes a lot of live TV that airs, and then 24 hours later it's on, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yes, all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine is on Netflix, but if you want to watch it live, or you watch it when it's airing during the season, you just wait 24 hours and it's there. So it's almost like a hub for live TV,
Yeah.
It's not the same as what Netflix is doing. But no, I was super impressed with the price and the content.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of content, I don't know if you guys watch this at all, but do any of you watch the DuckTales reboot?
I do not.
I've watched a good chunk of the first season, but I haven't gotten to the end of it.
Dude, finish that first season gets insane. Like, it was one of those things I just paid attention to because Jonathan was into it. My son was into it. And I was watching it, and then all of a sudden it gets like super serious and like really intense in the last 4 or 5 episodes. And the ending of season 1 is legitimately one of the best like endings of a season I can think of on a show. Like, it gets so good. And it was one of those things, like, it's hilarious because Jonathan doesn't understand why I thought it was so good. Like, he appreciated it on an entirely different level. But like, as an adult watching this show, like it's like emotional. It gets you in the right places. Like, it explains a bunch of things about the family. Like, it's one of those like, holy crap, this got amazing. Mm-hmm. I would highly recommend watching the first season of DuckTales. It is great.
Nice. Yeah. I think I got to the part where they got into Scrooge's vault, and like the lady that's got the shadow like thing possessing her, like, broke into one of the vaults, and then there was I think that's pretty much as far as I got, and then there was a couple more secrets as to where the mom went, but that's pretty much where I left off. But yeah, I gotta jump back in.
Yeah, what the reveal of like what happened to the mom gets it gets you. Like, it's good. It's really good. Like, I highly recommend it.
Nice.
But yeah, we can move on from there. So why don't we get a little industry buzz? So today, all the news outlets picked up that Cerny was being interviewed, and he started talking about the next Sony console, and he was like, well, whatever. It's like, it's an unnamed Sony console. It's like, I know the name, Mark. I think it's going to be the PlayStation 5. I'm just throwing it out there. Wild speculation, but I'm just guessing. Like, you make the the standard PS logo, the like little square logo. Make the S from the background and straighten one of the lines, and it's a 5. Like I can see the logo already. Like we can do that. Yeah. So interestingly enough, I mean, we won't belabor the whole thing, but what I found very interesting was they confirmed that it's still going to use discs. It is going to be backwards compatible because it's built off the same platform as the PlayStation 4. So your entire PS4 library should work in theory. I mean, who knows once they confirm it. It is going to have SSDs for the your hard drives and for storage, and then also 3D audio and 8K capable. I'm not sure if I buy that one because it's like we can't nail 4K and 60 frames a second yet. So why are we trying to do 8K?
Sports aren't even coming in at 4K regularly. So the term 8K doesn't do anything for me. But go on.
I mean, unless they're just thinking like future proofing down the line, if they want another like 10-year console or something like that.
What if they're using it as more like a nomenclature for VR? Since it's supposed to handle the VR stuff too.
Yeah, and so that's the spec. I mean, this didn't come out in there, but the speculation after this interview was that it's they're still riding the VR train. The headset will be compatible with the new console, and people are speculating that it might eliminate the need for the breakout box. Like you might be able to just have the console and go right to the headset without having the additional power in between, which would be nice just to get rid of, because I mean, man, the PSVR has so many cables, just so many cables. But using solid state drives for storage and stuff like that, that's a big get. I mean, we've all experienced when you replace a hard drive in a laptop with a solid state drive and all of a sudden everything runs amazing. It's like, where has this been my whole life?
Yeah, I think one of the examples was you flying through web slinging through Spider-Man, and how something that would normally take you, I think it was like double-digit seconds, took 0.8 seconds.
Yeah, it went from 15 seconds to 0.8. Yeah.
So like that's nuts. I mean, I'm not a huge specs guy, but I walked away impressed. What I hope is to come is they say that it's backwards compatible for all your former PlayStation systems. And I know that is a tall order. I know that is not easy. I'm not saying it is, but I would love for that to be a thing. That is just, but I
mean, when it sounds like it'll have the hardware to do it. It's just if they feel the need to, make because that's the thing with the PlayStation 3 and 2, you would need a software solution. You would need essentially to run an emulator for your, But
did anybody else feel like this sounds expensive? Did anybody else feel that way?
Yeah, this sounds like a $499 or higher console to me. When you think about it, if they need it to be a PlayStation 5 and not just another like half upgrade up, it needs to be this. It needs all of these bells and all of these whistles if it's going to actually be something called a PlayStation 5. So, because I mean, they rolled out the PS4 Pro, which was a nice bump on a whole bunch of things. And if you just do another bump up, that's just not going to cut it,
Yeah.
When you're asking people to pay again another $400 or more dollars. So,
yeah. Now, they said it wasn't going to be released this year, which is fine. But when do you see this console getting released? Do you think it's a 2020 release?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
And do you think it's Christmas time, or do you think it's earlier in 2020?
I could easily see one or two scenarios. One, we get some kind of PlayStation console event at the end of this year, and then it releases, let's just say summertime, or they do exactly what they did for the PS4, and in February of next year they have a PlayStation event, and then it releases, at the end of October or November of 2020. Just like they did, 7 years ago.
Yeah, that would be my guess, is probably sometime I would say between August and October of 2020. Early holiday at the latest. But that would be my guess.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have a lot. I don't have a hot take here. Know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't have it. I just was like, okay, hey, this is interesting information. I was not expecting any kind of info on the PS5 anytime soon, and to get this in April of 2019 and get confirmation it's not coming out this year was kind of refreshing. I don't know.
Yeah,
it kind of takes it off the board.
But it's also one of those things where that's another reason why I think it's coming in 2020, because they would not have allowed him to do this. They would not have allowed Mark Cerny to do this interview if it was still that far out.
And if for those who don't know, like, Cerny, if I'm not mistaken, has worked on, since the PS3, has worked on the last two consoles. And
he was the lead designer on the 4.
Yeah, he's the lead designer for these consoles, and it sounds like he's the lead designer on the 5 as well.
Yeah.
And I think the interview stuff they've shown with him, like, he just seems like the most genuine guy. Like, he just.
Do you remember that E3 conference before the PS4 where it was like, I just want Mark Cerny to read me the phone book? Like, it was just like the most peaceful voice you've ever heard.
He just was nice, just so nice,
so mellow. It was just like, whatever. Sure, take all my money.
Shannon, do you have anything else to add before we go to the negative thing that was released today?
No, go ahead.
Well, moving right along, in proper console war fashion, they had a nice Inside Xbox event today, kind of framing out some things to expect at E3. They announced the one price for Xbox Live and Game Pass, which we all thought should be coming, and that's $15 a month.
So you save essentially $5 a month.
Yeah, you save $5 a month to do it, and it's one of those, like, when my Game Pass runs out, I'll probably do that, because why not? But that's also, I like having one thing to worry about instead of two different services on the same console.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they announced more backward compatible games and all these fun stuff, and then their big reveal was, hey guys, the rumors were all true. The all-digital Xbox One S is coming. Or no, sorry, Xbox One S all-digital is coming. It's here. It's dropping May 7th, and it costs $249. This is where Shannon needs to edit in the hard record scratch of like, I can go to a store right now, multiple outlets, buy bundles of Xbox One S that include games, extra controllers. By the way, it has a 4K Blu-ray drive in it, and it cost me $249. Like, what?
Also has the exact same hard drive size.
Yeah, it's still a 1 terabyte, by the way.
This made me visibly angry. That, like, because you have an opportunity to give people something that a lot of people want. The demand for this obviously is high. I have spoken to quite a bit of people who wanted this, and they botched it. $250 for this console is asinine to me.
And also, it just looks like an Xbox One S without a drive. Like, that's,
and the hard drive is not even bigger, and the games, like,
the thing is, I could make a case. I could justify the cost if this thing was the size of like 2 Apple TVs. If it was tiny, like if it was, if it looked like a NES Classic but an Xbox One S. You know what I mean? Like, if it was that scaled down in size, I could absolutely make a case for the price. It's a whole new product. It looks different. It's small. It's a cool little thing that you can just tuck behind your TV or something. Sure, I can absolutely make that price. When it is the same goddamn shell without a slit in it, like, that is ridiculous.
But
that's just ridiculous.
Zach, do you agree with me, though, that it's asinine that it's still 1 terabyte? Because now you have to put it's not just, it's just not part, like, it's not like whenever you're installing part of the game onto your system, you're installing the whole game.
Yeah.
Like the whole freaking thing. And they can say it's cloud, it's gonna be saved the cloud, but as some people have realized, you can fill up cloud space.
Oh yeah. Real easy.
Quickly. But go ahead, Shannon. I cut you off.
No, it's fine. You're excited and animated, and I dig that. But I mean, that's the thing is that's what they get you is the external hard drives. Like it's the peripherals that you buy. Like it's just more. It's just them seeking more money, and I think that's where and that's the thing to me that is gross about it. Is they're just kind of. They're like, hey guys, we did this wonderful thing for you. And it's just like, it's the biggest pile of horse poop. Like,
but the thing is, if they would have spent a little money, they could have made so much more money.
But I mean, you look at it like a service contract. Like when we build elevators, like we don't make any money putting the elevators in. Where we make money is the service, right? So like you're coming back and the maintenance of it all. Give these things away for dirt cheap, just so you have millions of them in everybody's house, and then get everybody on the subscription. That's where your money is.
Well, see, here's what I think. I think maybe the first month these things sell for $249. I think by holiday, you are going to see these for like $179 or $150. I see, because I don't think they'll sell.
It just goes against the messaging of what Xbox has been doing for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It just like, I mean, I even thought the Xbox One X was way too expensive. But to have this be as expensive as it is for honestly no reason.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
If they had included, to your point, if it was $249 and it came with like a 6 terabyte drive, I'd be like, well, okay, the drive obviously costs more. So, okay, there's money there. Or just throwing this out there, if it was 1 terabyte, but it was the Xbox One X chipset, if this was an Xbox One X all digital edition, like
I would have paid for it.
I could almost go to $299 for that, because I'm like, sure, okay, I see what you're doing. Like, I see you working. Like, okay, but when you trot out the S, which is 4 years old now, and charge, I think so, yeah.
Holy crap!
But like,
sorry, that just kind of hit me. I jeez.
It's one of those things where it's like, I just don't see it. Like I just don't see who this is for.
This was supposed to save money. Like the concept is to save money. You take out the disk drive, that should cost less to make.
It is 3 years old. Sorry, Robbie. 3 years.
No, but I mean, still, like I in my mind, it was only like 2 years old, 1 or 2 years old.
Yeah.
But for it to be 3, like, it's still mind-boggling to me. But like, this goes against exactly what their messaging has been for the last 2 years. That we are for the gamer. We don't care if you buy our console. We just want you to play our games. We want you to play games. Well, I can't play games on this console if you only give me 1 terabyte of space. And it's the exact same price as a bundle that I can go get at Best Buy right now.
Yeah.
For a better console. The Xbox One S, which I have, is a better console than this diskless piece of crap.
Well, no, it's the same console, except it can play also 4K Blu-rays. Like, great. I don't, like I said, I see a price drop on this sooner than later, and it will stun me if this thing is still $249 come like August. I mark my words. This thing will be under $200 by August. It's just because I don't think anyone buys one. I just don't think.
Would you like to bet?
Ooh, what do you want to bet? What's my action?
I don't know. Like you said, the deadline is August, right?
Yeah, I say. Well, no, deadline would be September 1st.
Okay,
September 1st is the deadline.
All right. I don't know. Robbie, what kind of game would Zach have to play if he's wrong?
I don't know if I want to play this game with Zach again.
Well, you have no skin in the game, right? Because if Zach's wrong, he plays it, and because you're just recommending it for me. and then whatever Zach tells me he wants me to play, I'll play.
Okay.
So there's no skin in the game. There's all the fun and no hazard.
The Power Rangers fighting game. He has to play the Power Rangers he has to play through the story mode of the Power Rangers fighting game.
I didn't realize the stakes were going to be this high. Jeez.
Oh, trust me. If it was dealing with anything Nintendo, I was going to make you open up all the characters in Smash Brothers.
No.
Because your son would be going to high school by the time you're done.
Right. I would not take that. I would not take that action. Okay, and I'll take that. And Shannon, you have to play at least
Outlast.
No. I would play Outlast. No, I want him to play at least 8 hours of Fallout 76.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
All right.
That's just mean. And he has to stream it.
Yeah.
All right.
Both of these are stream bets. Like I will stream the Power Ranger story mode.
Let's do it. I'm on it. I'll be the only person. It'll be like a Fallout game. It'll be like playing Fallout. Nobody plays that game anymore.
Right? It's like playing solo anyway. And speaking of solo, as I segue my way across this, Robbie, would you give us a breakdown on all things Star Wars with a little Fallen Order?
Okay, I'm excited about what I know. Mm-hmm. They really didn't give us a ton.
Go through what we know.
Okay, what we do know is that the game's coming out November 15th. Mm-hmm. They stressed like 3 different times, because I watched the panel. 3 different times they stressed that they're doing everything they can to hit that date. Like that is a date that they are aware of, and it's not arbitrary. Like they're actually going to try to hit it, which I just appreciated them communicating that, numerous times, especially in a world that we live in where no date that we get at first is real.
Totally.
The second thing is we found out who and of course I forgot the main character's name right as I'm trying to talk about it, but I believe his name is Cass. I think it's something like that. Which I was really proud of. I love his name, and of course I can't remember it, and I apologize for that. But we found out that the actor who plays the Joker in Gotham is the actor who's playing him. Which I don't watch Gotham, but I've seen some trailers of him playing the Joker. Which, hey, whatever, sounds cool. Like that. That's super interesting. They said that they reiterated there's no microtransactions, there's no loot boxes, there's nothing like that. Anything that you get outside of like power-ups and stuff will be only cosmetic. There is no pay to play. There's nothing like that at all. And I'm just giving you the bare bones so then we can dive into the nerdy stuff that you guys really want me to talk about. So I'm just going ahead and giving you this now. We do know that it is an action-based game. We do know that you are going to have the Force and the lightsaber. It is going to have RPG elements. We know that it is a story-based game. It is no multiplayer whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think what other bare bones stuff I can give you. So apparently they have a myriad of different writers and developers from Star Wars, BioShock, Infamous, just different guys from all over these famous games on the same team creating this. And so like I got a little excited just by hearing about some of the dudes
just the pedigree behind the game.
The pedigree. It was really awesome hearing the passion and excitement from the lead guys that were on the panel and just talking about it. That the host kind of sucked. Like that fake enthusiasm I freaking hate.
For sure.
But anyway, so the nerdy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place after Order 66. It is about a Jedi who, or I apologize. It is about a Force user who is now gone into hiding, and he is trying to live his day-to-day life as like a scrapper, like a guy who breaks down Star Destroyer ships for a living. He is on the run. He is going to come across other people, other characters. It does look like it looked like there's going to be several characters that you come across They didn't give any background of other Jedi. They didn't mention Skywalker. They didn't mention Vader. They didn't mention the Emperor. They didn't mention anybody, which I know, Zach, that's something that you wanted.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, we can't be stupid, though. If it takes place after Order 66, there's going to be some kind of Emperor or Vader connection. But here's what I was super excited about. You were going to fight Inquisitors. And for those that don't know what Inquisitors are, Inquisitors were introduced in Clone Wars and then also introduced in Rebels. And they were Force-using guys that the Emperor would send out to hunt down the remaining Jedi. And so essentially they're Sith. I mean, they might as well just call them Sith. And they had incredible lightsaber designs, and they showed like 3 or 4 of them, and they called them the Sisters. And the Sisters are a connection to the Clone Wars, which I won't dive into because that's just rabbit trail we don't need to go down. But when they showed the trailer just really shows him in his day-to-day life, and then they show the lightsaber, which we all saw, and
a blue lightsaber.
A blue lightsaber. It's not his. Like, they did clarify that it is not his. But they did made a point to say that the lightsaber will evolve throughout the game like he does, and so that tells me just exactly what we thought.
Well, because it also looked broken in the trailer,
yes.
So I wonder if it's like as he's repairing it, type thing. You can choose to repair it in different ways or whatever.
I think we're going to get a dual lightsaber by the end of the game. Like, just kind of just the way that they were talking. What else? The one disappointment I had about the panel, and this is just what EA has been doing more and more with their E3s and their special things, and I get it, but it's just kind of, I understand you want to put the developers on display, and I understand that you're trying to be, equal and give us insight, and I get that, and I appreciate that, and I respect that. But I would rather see gameplay.
Yeah.
Like there was 0 gameplay, and I understand we have E3 in like 6 weeks. So like I'm not stupid. I know that that's why you held it off. But I just would have liked to see something of gameplay, because there were some people in our group, in our Facebook group, who were worried when they came out 2 days earlier, and it came out that it was going to be Souls-like, and because a lot of people don't like those kind of games, and I understand that. But and what I told my friend Matt is I felt like they just used that as a trigger word. It wasn't like, I don't really think they were about to make a Dark Souls game in Star Wars, even though I would love that. I don't think that's what they're going to do. But then listening to the panel and how they were describing the combat, it's exactly what I thought. What they mean is that you can't just go like Force Unleashed and just go rip through everything. Like, you're going to have to be methodical.
It's not a God of War game. Yeah.
Yes, you're going to have to use some strategy in how you attack, because you will be using force powers. You will be using a lightsaber, but you can't just you can't just overpower everything in the game. And that's what I thought it was, and I'm so thankful that I was right, because if they would have said this is Dark Souls with a lightsaber, that honestly would have turned a lot of people off.
For sure.
So, do you have any questions that I may be able to answer from what I saw?
I gotta go check on Evelyn real quick.
That's fine.
If you and Shannon want to keep rolling, I'll jump back on in a second.
Yeah.
We could just wait right here. It's fine.
Okay, I'll be back.
Because I don't have any questions.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I mean, I'm stoked for the game. I just I think I'm gonna go into this game where I don't I just don't listen to what's going on a lot, because it just seems like it's so far out before like this game is going to come out. Like, it's a ways off, right? Is it? Did they give a release?
November 15th.
All right, that's a long time to wait. For a game like.
Let's say they hit it. Let's keep this recording going, because I do think you bring up an interesting point.
Okay.
If they hit that date, okay, so 3 or 4 years ago when Fallout 4 came out,
Mm-hmm.
I was super impressed with the fact that they showed a trailer for the first time and then it came out 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, we have the opportunity for that to happen again here. I would like that means a lot to me if they show it for the first time and then it comes out the same year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that'd just be a really awesome culture to begin. Like, let's quit showing tidbits of the game 3 or 4 years out. Let's just show it when it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean? I mean, do you agree with that, or
No, that's great. I mean, like, because otherwise you have like Sony's problem where you show Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and it's not out. It's never coming out.
You really have to bring up that one, like the one game that's gonna hurt my heart,
dude. It's right here. It's wedged right between like ribs 3 and 4. It's just always
Final
there.
Fantasy 15.
Oh yeah. Don't even get me started on the second half of that game. But
it was a great game, just not worth the 10-year wait. I will.
Yeah. I don't know. I think don't get me started. Don't.
Okay. All right. We don't have to go down that road.
But yeah, I like that. I like this pattern of things. Now, did they say specifically, like, because like I said, I've been trying to stay excited about this. I don't want to know a lot about it.
I get it.
EA has that problem.
The only thing I want to see moving forward is I want to see gameplay, and I will not watch another story-based trailer. Like, I think you know this about me, but I have a one trailer for movie rule, and that's kind of how I'm going to be for this, because that one trailer for Fallen Order, it really doesn't give away anything. Like, it really just kind of shows us his day-to-day life, and then it shows him doing some kind of action with characters and stuff, but we don't see like, oh man, like what his journey is going to be about or anything like that at all. So I'm in, obviously, because they didn't say the things that were going to detour me, and like a lot of people I saw a lot of people on the internet, and look, the internet's full of just angry people, but I saw a lot of people upset that we didn't see gameplay. And I just thought, like, my rational brain just immediately thought, when we didn't see it, it's like, okay, E3 is 6 weeks away. Like, that's why we didn't see anything. Because, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think also EA kind of learned a lesson with Anthem. Because I mean, like that push for, they were releasing a lot of stuff towards that release, and I think it fatigued a couple people. And I think they learned, hopefully they learned a little something from that. And I think they're going to maybe pull back a little bit more, not be as forthcoming with as much information, so that the people still are curious enough to buy the game, instead of, being saturated with so much information that they can tell right away if they're going to be interested in this game or not. I know, like, the fanboys and like anybody who has a affinity for Star Wars is going to buy this right off the bat. It's hitting
let them release a collector's edition, bro.
Yeah,
all on that.
You want you want that lightsaber letter opener, don't you?
No, I wish they want. If they make a freaking hilt replica, like, bro, all day.
What if they partner up with like ThinkGeek and GameStop to come out with a collector's edition that utilizes the lightsabers that they already have in stock? So that way, like, they modify it a little bit, and now you have like this full replica like lightsaber that you can have.
There's not a price too high. We'll just say that there's not a price too high. Elijah can start going to work. I understand everyone's like concern because it's attached to EA, but it didn't feel attached to EA just by the presentation at all. It felt like a Respawn game. It almost feels like, hey, this is only being published. Like, EA doesn't really have much of a say or touch any of this, because apparently this game has been in development a lot longer than we realized. Now we'll say this, and this is really just kind of to, I guess, not waste time, but just to fill time in before we move on. It came out over the last few days. There have been former Visceral employees that have come out on Twitter and kind of said, "Hey, EA, we were trying to make a single player game and you shut us down." and then they obviously come out and Respawn is having the single player game and they're praising it. EA is pushing really hard for this. I want to know the story behind what happened with Visceral. Like, I want to read that book, and I hope it comes out one day.
Well, maybe it was just they had, two different competing ideas, and they just put the two studios against each other, and this is the horse that they decided to back.
Maybe.
I mean, after Battlefront 2 released to the debacle that it did, I think Disney was trying to come out with something that would revitalize the Star Wars franchise, and B, in an effort to increase their chances of that happening, just invested the money to multiple studios to get the product they wanted.
Yeah, like,
so,
I don't know. Also, I just kind of think the media has this love affair with Amy Hennig, and I understand why, and I respect why, but at the same time, like, maybe she doesn't walk on water like we think she does. Maybe there are things that were going awry over there at Visceral that we're not privy to. Like, just like with the assumptions that we had going into this Anthem situation, that EA was forcing them to put all this in and make it a multiplayer game, and like, come to find out we were dead wrong. Like, the only thing EA really forced them to do is use this engine that no one likes using, and that doesn't seem to be the case here. Now, we don't know. We could come to find out that they did force them to use this thing. And look, I'm not stupid. This game could suck. This game could not be good. But right now, at this very moment, I'm soaking it up. I'm excited. I'm jacked. The character looks cool. He's got a good design. Like, he's just got a good design of a character, and of course the hilt looks awesome. And I've always said, I think it's stupid. I don't believe that Obi-Wan Kenobi sat on Tatooine for 19 years and did nothing. Like, there was something, like, he had a job, like, he did something over that time, just like every other Jedi did. They didn't all just hide. Like, we know that Ahsoka didn't just hide. We know Ahsoka did things, And I kind of I want to see that here. Like, what were the Jedi doing during Order 66 and being hunted? So
yeah, I mean, it's if they stick to the canon and they stick to the storylines, I think it'll be a pretty good game for you.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna move on a little bit.
Yeah, please.
It was more along the lines of, is like going back to like the Xbox and Microsoft and the PlayStation, like 5 news and Star Wars, like all this stuff, like what, like, I know it's an indicator that E3 is like just becoming one of those things that's going to be defunct in like a couple years, but like, what is there to be excited about going into this E3? I mean, I feel like a lot of the wind for a lot of these, for a lot of what you would see at E3 is being lessened. The hype is being lessened because they're so far out in front of this conference now. They're doing their own things. Like, I know Sony's already not going to be there, so it's not really that important that Sony's doing their own thing. But like, let's take a look at like Microsoft. I mean, if you're not going to unveil a new powerful Xbox that's going to rival the PlayStation 5, like, what are you doing? Like, at your like, why did you do this conference to release a new?
From the rumors, the rumors are they have a lot of games to show. Like, they have a lot of exclusive games to show, and if I'm curious to see if this move, I'm curious to see if this move by Sony to share specs is because they've gotten word that Xbox is actually going to show their new console at E3 and then show a bunch of games with it. Like, I wonder if we're going to see a staggered release like we did with the Xbox and the PS3, the Xbox 360 and PS3. I agree with you about the questioning of Xbox, and because I've been questioning Xbox for 7 years. Why do you not have a single exclusive that compares in any way to something like Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, even Infamous Second Son? Like, you don't have anything of that quality, or and look, I know some people want like multiplayer games, and that's fine, but I'm talking about single player exclusives. Like, they have nothing in comparison to that, and that is a problem, and I hope that problem gets fixed with this upcoming E3. But here's been my speculation for a while as to why Sony is not going to E3. It's because they don't have anything to show that's going to come out next year, really. Like, they're kind of like showing all their fireworks over the last 3 or 4 years. Like, we've got this year, we've got Days Gone, we've got Last of Us 2. We have Dreams, which apparently came out on early access this week or today. And we've got the other Samurai game. But like, outside of that, I just don't think they have anything else right now to show. And I'm okay with them not being there if they don't have anything to show.
So then, this kind of trails back to the PlayStation 5 release being in 2020. If they don't have anything that they're releasing in the next year, what do they roll out with their new console? Or do they just do what they did with the PlayStation 4 and remaster a bunch of crap?
Well, okay. So if I remember correctly, the PS4 released with Knack, Second Son, MLB The Show, Assassin's Creed 4,
Diablo 3.
Huh?
Diablo 3 remastered or whatever.
Diablo 3 remastered. And there was one other game. The shoot 'em up by the guys who make Horizon. Oh my freaking goodness. What are their games? What's that series of games that was on the PS3? The shooters with the aliens.
No, not XCOM.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, this is not good podcasting. Anyway, that I believe that it could be something like that. They're obviously going to have the new Assassin's Creed game come out, release with it, and it'll come out on PS4 and on PS5. I could easily see another Knack kind of game. Just hey, here's a fun kid game to play with your children. I will say this: I was really surprised that this game, that Star Wars, to bring it back to Star Wars, I was really surprised to not hear that it wasn't an exclusive. Like, I thought someone was going to try to do that. I know it's EA and they don't really do that, and but the first Titanfall released only on Xbox One.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
But anyway, I don't know if that helps or answers your question, but I mean that's kind of where I'm leaning right now.
No, it does. But I guess Zach had to step away for a minute, so I guess
what you been playing, man?
Yeah, just more of that Final Fantasy, dude. Like, like it's a fun game. I didn't think I would enjoy it this much, but the humor's there. It's funny to read all of the monsters profiles because it's kind of written out like a dating like a dating app for like monsters.
Mm-hmm.
The story is good so far. It's a little grindy as far as like getting the monsters because it's kind of got that Final Fantasy X leveling up system with the monsters, where like they have like a grid, and then you unlock like certain attributes or spells or bonuses for your stat bonuses for your character. So in that respect, it's a little grindy. It can be a little long in the tooth there. I think that's how they kind of drag this game out a little bit more, because the basic principle of the game is like you got to get these 4 keys and then you got to kill the big bad guy at the end. So I'm still trying to. I mean, I've already gotten I'm already like 12 chapters in, and I'm on my way to the second key. So I don't know how long this game is going to be, but it just seems like I've already gotten the majority of the monsters that I'm going to be needing or getting to evolve. So that's been keeping my attention for a while. I don't know what it was recently, but it just seemed like the latest update that the PlayStation did to their console, or that Sony did to their console, and the latest update that came out for the Division, they were both like pretty sizable. So the small amount of time I had this week to play with, to play on a console, uh, it was spent updating. So I wish I had more news as far as what I've been playing, but that's pretty much it. How about you, Robbie? What have you been playing?
I honestly, in the last 7 days, have not touched a video game except for 30 minutes of God of War.
Whoa, okay.
We are this upcoming Sunday is Easter, and that is essentially the Super Bowl for church. And this past Saturday, we had an Easter egg hunt, and like we didn't just have an Easter egg hunt, but we had like live bunnies and a bouncy house. Like it was just a huge community event. And so I've just been super busy. And so I started up God of War, and I did not play it on the PS4 Pro when it came out. I played it on a regular PS4. And I thought my PS4 was going to freaking explode during that game. And so just within just 30 minutes, you can tell just a huge difference in how the game looks. It's freaking, it's so gorgeous. And I know that some people did not like the single camera follow of the game, but I stand by that. This is the most, it made it more compelling.
No, I totally agree. Totally agree.
It made it like I did not want to, like, I wanted to continue playing. And if it wasn't 1 o'clock in the morning when I started, I would have kept going, because the way that camera works, it works to make you want to continue to play. And so I'm going to go through this journey again, but also Zach and I talked about this a few months ago, but I'm actually writing a piece about this game now. Because when I played it the first time, Elijah wasn't born, and so now I'm playing it again with having a son, and just the thoughts of that game have already started. So I've already started writing the piece, but I'm writing basically an article just of what this game does in such an awesome way about fatherhood and about having a son, specifically because I don't have a daughter, so I'm going to have to write it in the point of view of having a son. I'm really excited about writing that. So that's what I've been playing, and I know that's not a lot, but that's all I got right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat where it's just been, the time crunch has made gaming difficult. So like, I was playing Photographs, like I was talking about last week, on the phone, and going through the rest of the endings on that, that game's amazing. That's the easiest $4 you'll ever spend. And then I'm still plugging my way through Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And that is a great game. Like, Odyssey is so good. It's one of those things where, I liked what I played it before, but restarting it up on the X, I'm just basically off the first island. And it's one of those things where the storytelling in it is just top notch. It's easily the best story as far as pacing and how they've laid it out of any of the Assassin's Creeds I can think of. And I've played through damn near all of them. And it has that same thing you were just talking about, Robbie, where it's just like, I can do one more. I can just play a little more. Just sure, another 20 minutes. One more little side mission. One more little thing, and next thing you know, it's been 5 hours. It's great. I'm very excited to work my way through. I did make the decision to just start mainlining it, though. Like, I know I've got to do some grinding and leveling in it, but it's one of those, like, it kills me because I'm one of those people that needs to clear a map, and every time I bring up the map to see where I'm going, it's just like, oh, there's all this stuff around me, and I'm not going to do any of it. But no, it's killer. I'm excited to finish it up, but that's all I've been doing too.
I will say this, that I have every intention. School will basically be up for me in about 3 weeks. I have every intention of picking up Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. Outside of Origins, 3 is still my favorite game of the series, and I know I'm very much in the minority of that. But I I just love colonial American history, and to revisit that and see it in a more beautiful setting and not have the hiccups, the hiccups that we had on the PS3. I'm really excited to see that. So,
I never played Rogue. Did you?
Mm-mm.
The one that was supposed to be like Assassin's Creed. It was like, what was it? It was like supposed to be like Black Flag, but in the Assassin's Creed 3 universe or whatever. I never played that. They eventually did do a remaster, right? I think so.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Anyway, so is it time, gentlemen? Have we gotten here?
Yeah, this is where we're at now.
All right.
This ridiculous list already.
It is time for the last 7 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we are going to rank them 7 to 1. But first, let me give you the breakdown where we are right now. 21, Thor: Dark World. 20, The Incredible Hulk. 19, Iron Man 2. 18, Iron Man 3. 17, Age of Ultron. 16, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. 15, Thor. 14, Captain Marvel. 13, Ant-Man. 12 is Doctor Strange. 11 is Captain America: First Avenger. 10 is Ant-Man and Wasp. 9 is Civil War. 8 is Spider-Man: Homecoming. So here are the films we have left: Avengers, Black Panther, Guardians of the Galaxy 1, Infinity War, Iron Man, and Winter Soldier. Oh, and Ragnarok. Ragnarok's in there too. Let the bloodbath commence. Shannon, what should be number 7? Let's just do that.
Oh man.
Yeah, you weren't expecting that, were you?
No. Dude, all these movies are so good, in my opinion. I mean, I'm already gonna get voted off. I did not like Black Panther enough to put it higher up than 7. I know you guys did, so I'm just gonna shut up and eat my crow right now. So,
well, I mean, we can have that conversation.
We can, like, yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind having the conversation. I mean, if you want to hang your hat on Black Panther being number 7 because the main character Black Panther is the least interesting character, I can follow that. If you want to talk about it having possibly the worst CGI of any Marvel movie, I can buy that as well.
Oh, it's not worse than Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. I don't. Again, I don't. Like I said before, I sometimes don't even remember that that's part of this whole thing. But yes, you are right. But it is bad for it being a 2018 film.
Yeah. For being the most recent, yeah.
Those rhinos look so bad. You know what?
See, here's the thing. Shit. Mentally, I'm like, no, that's way too low. And then I look at the list, and I'm like,
can I say what mine would be at 7?
Sure.
I actually have Infinity War at 7 because I stand by that. It's still half a film, like, and not in a bad way. Like, I don't think that is I'm not saying it is a horrible by any means whatsoever, but it doesn't feel complete.
Okay, take the incompleteness away. Is Infinity War better than Black Panther? Just yes or no question.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at too. Like,
yeah, like I don't know how much better, but yes.
Yeah. And it's really, for me, and I mean we've discussed this before, but for me, Killmonger makes Black Panther. Like,
it does.
Just Killmonger's storyline and Michael B. Jordan's portrayal and everything, like, he's so good. It's just so good. It's the character. It's one of my favorite characters in all of these movies is Killmonger. And
it's not even the actor who plays T'Challa. I always forget his name. It's not his fault.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman, yeah. But he is the least interesting character in that movie.
Well, I mean, because he's also like the most straight laced, because you have like Killmonger who's outlandish and brazen, and then you have like M'Baku and
My favorite character. Y'all didn't know this because a lot of you don't follow me on Facebook, but my cover photo for a long time was M'Baku sitting on his throne. Like, I love M'Baku. He is so awesome.
And I think
there'll be no challenge today. Go ahead.
I think that's what it is. Is like everybody around Black Panther is so animated, or they're so passionate about
Shuri,
and he's so like subdued.
But I think Mark Bernardin of Batman on Batman, who does a podcast with Kevin Smith, he puts it like this. So this is not my argument, so no one yell at me. This is what he says. A black man, I just want to throw that out there as well, who says this, that Black Panther doesn't seem to really have like he doesn't really know what he wants. Like, he is already set on this path before the movie starts. He is set on this path to be king, and we really don't know what he desires. Like he doesn't really have any wants or needs throughout the film. And this is something very small, but after rewatching these films to a degree, there is a plot hole here that he already has the Black Panther suit and power in Civil War. And we talked about, I don't know if we talked about this last week, but I thought we did.
That's actually a really good point. I never
thought
about that. Yeah.
He already has it. And then in Black Panther movie, it makes it seem like he can't have it until he's crowned king, even though he already has it. And I understand, he got it because his T'Challa or whatever was old, but they never tell us that. He already has the Black Panther power, because you can only have this power if you are king, and he is not king yet. So it's just
he hasn't consumed the lotus and all that. Like,
it is just a small plot hole that is not explained. But you know what, Shannon, dadgummit, I'm with you, buddy. I'm gonna ride this train with you.
Yeah, I actually already wrote it down. I'm kind of with you, Shannon. Like,
wow.
It does have the best soundtrack, though. I will say that.
It's one of those things. Like, it's an amazing villain. The female cast in it is just top notch. Like, every woman in that movie is amazing. Andy Serkis's Claw is great. Like, he's wonderful as Claw. But for me, I kind of like every other movie better that's remaining. Like, just if I'm going to sit down and watch one, I probably wouldn't pick Black Panther over the rest of these. So
yeah, like when you asked me that question, just flat out, like, would you watch Infinity War or Black Panther? Like, I've watched Infinity War 5 or 6 times. I've watched Black Panther maybe twice, and those were in theater. I haven't watched it since I bought the Blu-ray. And I think it's because I know the plot, the very simplistic plot so well. I kind of just don't want to watch it again, unless it's to watch M'Baku. Like, and the fact that he didn't get a character poster for Endgame is asinine, and it is ridiculous. That man deserves a poster to tell me whether he's alive or dead right now, and I don't know the answer. But will y'all follow me down the path of putting Infinity War 6?
So for me, I could do Infinity War here or Ragnarok.
Ragnarok's 4 for me.
So
Ragnarok just changed the game for so many, for 2 characters specifically that were so one note. For this entire first 3 phases, or however many freaking phases we've had up to this point, it made Thor into and the actors even talked about this. It made the character more relatable. It made the character more fun. It made the character enjoyable to watch. Well, and also Hulk becomes more than just this mindless beast.
They made it a buddy cop film, and it totally works. It absolutely works. And like, they took advantage of, Hemsworth has a amazing sense of comedic timing, and they let him do it finally. Like,
hey, Korg, I'm Korg.
Yeah,
I made a small rocks.
I've made flyers.
Piss off, Ghost.
Yeah, like it's easily the funniest of all the movies. Like, it's there were absolutely multiple times that I laughed my ass off in that movie, and I also say, yeah, Hella was an amazing villain. Like, she was great.
Man, I love her so much. I love the actress. Oh my gosh, and that might be because I love Lord of the Rings, but she just owned that role. It's kind of what we talked about last week. Just these villains who just own the role and eat up screen. Like, I think Jeff Bridges is underrated as a villain because he just owns that role.
I can't do it. Did it break up on me? Hello?
Yeah, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying, like, and it also gave me the great line from Odin when Thor was pining over the loss of his hammer and how he can't do it anymore. And Odin just goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Were you the god of hammers?" And it was just like, it was just such a great moment. Like, it was, and also just the Led Zeppelin, the final battle with the Led Zeppelin blaring and the lightning coming down. Okay, know what? I'm putting it above.
And Valkyrie. and think of Valkyrie. Like, Valkyrie is such an awesome character. And
I actually kind of want to stop this and watch Thor Ragnarok right now. Dude, like, I'm just talking myself into it.
Dude, no joke. Lisa, go ahead, Shannon. No, you go, Shannon.
And the bonus of it is it's bright. Like, it's brightly
colored. There's so much color.
Like, it's so vibrant compared to the other two movies. It's such a breath of fresh air for like the Thor series. Like, it took it from something that was just kind of like it was almost so serious. Like, he stepped on his own cape. Like, I mean, that's what it was. It was so, it got into
the opening of the movie. Like, is so dope.
Yeah,
like he's fighting the god. He's fighting essentially the god of hell in this movie. Now, I have to be that guy, and I do have to bring up a critique or a question of a critique. Do we hold it against this film that everything that happens doesn't matter? Like, there is no ramification that matters after this film. Like, Infinity War writes off. It gives him a new eye. They give him a new weapon very soon in the movie, and like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's no stakes that continue after.
Well, it did take him 3/4 of the movie to get the axe in Infinity War. So, I mean, like, his whole story arc was getting the weapon. But
it was also
realizing that he didn't have to have it. That's also the point.
Yeah, like, but it also gave him like a ton of gravitas in Infinity War. Like, his whole conversation with Rocket, like, is one of the best,
most powerful scenes that he's done. Like, yeah, but I'm not being a jerk. I just wanted to bring it up. Like,
no. These are the conversations to have. So
does that even affect your mindset of looking at Ragnarok because of what comes after it? Like, we talked about this a little bit with how Ultron is hindered because of what came before it and what came after it. Like, movie by itself, it struggles because of what comes, what it comes after. But so with Thor Ragnarok, he's supposed to come to this knowledge of, I don't need my hammer anymore, like, because I am the god of thunder. But then he needs a weapon to fight Thanos.
Yeah.
And then he loses his eye. And I get why they gave him an eye. Look, he's not as good looking with a patch on with, if he has two eyes. I get it. But Shannon, I see you pondering over there. Like, I mean, what do you think?
No, I was trying to think about it, and like, I mean, but the setup for Thor Ragnarok is that their planet gets destroyed, or their home gets destroyed. I mean, which basically opens up.
Can you get a little closer to the mic? You sound like really far away.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So,
oh my God, that's the most clear I've ever heard you, Shannon.
Oh wow. Okay, so this is where I got to be now. So. The only thing that transfers from Thor Ragnarok over to Infinity War is just where they end up. Like, so basically they're on the ship, they're looking for a new home world, and then somewhere along the lines you figure Thanos finds their ship and blows it up. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm 100% fine for what that movie did for Thor. Like, I mean, it took him from one of the most boring characters to one of the most entertaining characters to watch,
and one of the most charismatic too. Like, yeah, like
he might be the most charismatic actor of that whole cast outside of RDJ.
Yeah,
and we didn't know it until until now.
And it put like that's where I was going. It kind of put him on that same level where like he just has this swagger about him now after that movie.
If you want my one critique, it would be that it went the opposite way for the Hulk. It took the Hulk and took him from a menace, like somebody who is somebody you should be scared of, to somebody who they almost made him childlike, I think, and made him more. They tried
of a comedic character.
Yeah, and I think that kind of ruins the Hulk's character as a whole. That would be my critique.
If we're talking about things that ruin the Hulk's character, let's talk about Infinity War, because Thanos beating the crap out of the Hulk, and then the Hulk now refusing to emerge because he's scared of Thanos. Like, that is the most anti-Hulk thing. Like no, the Hulk doesn't get scared. The Hulk just gets angrier. Like, that's how that works. And it's like, that was like my main issue with that entire movie, was like this like neutering of the Hulk almost, probably for plot. I mean, let's be honest.
In the moment though, it was dope. Like you're like Thanos is freaking bad. If he's gonna make the Hulk be scared, scared to death. To Shannon's point about Thor Ragnarok, and this is because I've read the comics only, but the Hulk talking progresses from him doing how he talked in Thor Ragnarok to him being Bruce Banner as the Hulk, to where he's still a genius and he has the intellect of Bruce Banner. But I do agree that if any character took any kind of regression, it was the Hulk in Infinity War, which
now watch him emerge in Endgame as like the Gray Hulk or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
and so, but to what we're saying here, I personally think it goes Black Panther than Infinity War in the rankings, because I don't see how just to have the conversation. I don't see it being better than Guardians or Thor or Iron Man or Avengers or Cap 2. I just don't.
Well, so here's how I would personally do it. I would do Infinity War, and then I would do Ragnarok. Is how I would rank that. Because I'm sorry, Iron Man, Winter Soldier, the first Avengers, and Guardians of the Galaxy are the top 4 for me. Like, that's just, they are. And so and we can order them however we want. Yeah. But I mean, as much as I love those movies, like, I love those top 4. So it's it's one of those things, like, to Shannon's point, all of every single one of the top 7 here are some of my favorite movies of all time. So it's like we're splitting hairs.
Yes.
We are getting to this point, but
we're the ones who took this very difficult task.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we agree Black Panther then Infinity War, and then we're going to just have it out for these top 5.
Yeah. I'm going to have to be a conscientious. I'm going to have to be a neutral party for Winter Soldier, because I still haven't gotten to see that one. So I'm going to opt out of that argument. But everything else I will fight fiercely for.
Well,
wait. What did you just say?
I've only seen half of the Winter Soldier, dude. Like, I haven't gotten to see it all, so I can't grade it right now. Don't look at my camera like that. Don't look at me like that. I'm sorry.
Okay. So right now is it 7? At 7 we have Black Panther. Is that correct?
Yes.
At 6 we have Infinity War.
Yes.
And at 5 you're suggesting Thor Ragnarok?
Correct.
Yes. I can do that.
Can I make an argument for it being better than Guardians of the Galaxy, which I have at 5? I have Guardians at 5.
You can, because I have Guardians at 3. And so I will listen to your argument, but
it honestly just comes down to villain preference.
Sure.
I enjoy the villain.
The villain in Guardians is the weakest part.
Yes, and so for me, like because of those two being so equal to me, like I love them so very much. The deciding factor for me of which one's ranked higher, because one is 4, one is 5.
Mhm.
I put Thor Ragnarok higher because of the villain, and that is it. Because I don't have critiques, I don't have negative things to say about Guardians, you know.
Well,
but go ahead.
So here would be my thing with Guardians. It's the movie, the first one in the whole thing, where you really get to see the Infinity Stones and what they do, or at least the Power Stone. The flashback of it, you see a Celestial, which I thought was freaking rad. When he like raises the whole planet. The world building in Guardians of the Galaxy is the best in the entire series. Like, just from planet to planet, and they each feel unique. It
made it more than Earth. It made it more than Earth.
But like the giant dead celestial head floating in space that like is a mining colony, which is freaking rad. Like, it's just everything about it. The prison break. Oh, just how great is just the prison break? Like, all this chaos is going around, things are happening, and in the middle of it, he's like, okay, I got the leg. And Rocket's like, oh, you actually did that? You're like, no, I just wanted to see him hopping around. Like, was it hilarious? And he's looking at like, Pat's just looking at him like, are you insane? And it's just the whole thing.
That movie did two things that I never thought was possible. One, it gave us exposition that clearly explained the Infinity Stones, what they were, and the purpose of them. And like, they did that, and no other movie up to that point had really done that well, or done it really at all.
And it made you realize, like, oh, these are scary. Like, these are.
Yes. And the second thing is something I never thought I'd be possible to do, was it made me more jealous of Bradley Cooper, because his voice acting is just as good as his regular acting. because his portrayal of Rocket Raccoon was amazing. And also, Vin Diesel gets so much crap for only being able to play one-note characters, but I've never felt I've never felt more hurt and more pain than when a character said just 3 words and he dies.
Right. And then,
like, I've never.
But they also made, like, Groot could have been such a walking disaster if the CGI was bad. And it's
perfect.
It's great. And like, and so many scenes, like when he, throws his arms out and like stabs through 8 dudes at once and slams them about the hallway and drops them, and then turns around and basically gives them a thumbs up. Like, it's like, wait, you could do that like the whole time? What? It's just, there's so many moments. And by the way, how great is Dave Bautista?
Yeah, he's
fantastic.
awesome.
Drax. Like,
and can we talk about also that this doesn't get talked about enough? Like, I still think Black Panther has the better soundtrack, but but Guardians of the Galaxy uses the soundtrack better than any movie outside of Baby Driver. And if you haven't seen Baby Driver, I highly recommend going to see that movie, because what Edgar Wright does with the use of music in a film is outstanding. But anyway, the use of the soundtrack in that film is the most perfect use. Just at the very beginning, with Star-Lord breaking in and stealing the stone from the very beginning, just
which had a total like Raiders of the Lost Ark type vibe to it.
Yes,
like,
it did. Yes, it did. And then just, I think, a lot of times in films, when they try to give us the bad guys, the misfit toys being good guys, I think they ham it up really bad, and like sometimes like it feels forced. But this truly felt organically like 5 or 6 people who should not like each other, who are not good people, who are coming together to do something because of one quote. Why would I want to help these idiots? Because we live in this world too. Because we're the idiots who live in this galaxy too. Like, that exchange to me was the turning point of why they come together in the first place. And it was so well done. if it wasn't for these other 3 films ahead of it being so freaking incredible and like it would be number 1. Like in my opinion, any of these 5, including Thor Ragnarok, if someone told me that was their favorite, I would have no problem, no qualms whatsoever.
So here's my other argument for why it's a top 3 movie. For me, I have it at 3. Is it's the one movie in this entire run where when it first was announced, when the trailer came out, when everything, it was the one with like, oh, here's the one where they screw up. Here, yeah, this one's gonna be awful. Like, what the hell is this even? Like, this has nothing related to anything they've done. What the heck is this movie? And it ends up being, like you said, it could be easily be someone's favorite movie, and I wouldn't blink an eye. Like, it's, I mean, they nail every single piece of it. I mean, Yondu is amazing. Michael Rooker's portrayal of Yondu is fabulous. Like, Zoe Saldana, like as Gamora, like it's like the best. She's an amazing actress, and it's like her best role. It's
and you know what? Us talking about this makes me dislike Guardians 2 even more.
Well, yeah.
Like it makes it frustrates me so much. So I'm not a huge sci-fi fan. Like, yes, I love Star Wars, and I can make a very valid argument that is not sci-fi. It is fantasy. It is more fantasy based, but we can get into that to another time. But anyway, I'm not the biggest sci-fi fan, and this movie made me not even pay attention to what genre it was. I just was having a blast. I wanted to see everything and anything across the sun, and to bring the Collector into it. The Collector, who is such an awesome character in the comics and such an important character, and for whatever
Benicio del Toro,
to him to just own that character the way he does, it's so well done. I will say this though, Zach, I personally cannot put it in the top 3 because of the villain. Like the villain is so weak.
So
I say
here's my like split between the two. And maybe this is unfair because Guardians is a standalone movie. Like it's the first in its line. Like, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy is the first one. Thor, you had to get through the first Thor and the second Thor movie to get Ragnarok. Or just to kind of understand the subtle story points. I mean, you could watch it and get a idea of what was happening.
But you don't get the Loki Thor relationship.
Yeah, but you don't understand the relationship. And I think because of that, I would put Thor Ragnarok lower just because you have to get through 2 movies to get to that one.
Oh, that's fair. Thor at 5. They got that. Yeah, Thor at 5. I won't buck it all.
Okay, I will concede a spot. Let's do Thor Ragnarok 5 and Guardians at 4.
I could do that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's do that now, gentlemen. Buckle up.
Oh man, I mean, Iron Man is 3 to me.
Nope. No.
I put Avengers. I'll put Avengers.
At that's where I would go to, is Avengers.
I would have until I rewatched it 2 weeks ago. And
so what changed your mind?
Okay, so rewatching the first Avengers, I'm showing my hand, but I have Avengers 2. The reason why I put Avengers over Iron Man is because this was not supposed to be able to happen. This was not supposed to be able to work to, first of all, get this ensemble of heroes together, but for everyone to have appropriate screen time, except for Jeremy Renner, who continues to be underwritten in this entire series of films, for there to be a horror genre moment in the film where you are truly afraid of the Hulk whenever he is when he turns into the Hulk and Black Widow is running away from him, to give us this visual spectacle of just comic book galore, to have a Marvel Ultimate Alliance combo moves that you would do together and have them do it together on screen, to see Captain America lead them. I'll tell you what, one single freaking moment makes this better than Iron Man, and that's them circling up together when Captain America tells them what they're supposed to go do. That it meant, like, I don't care what followed it. Coulson's death meant so much in the moment. Coulson's death mattered. It hurt to see them dead, to see Loki manipulate all of them in one single scene while they're on the helicarrier. To, like, I don't know. I think that Avengers is just something that we never should have. It should have never happened. It should have never been able to be done.
Well, let me tell you what shouldn't have happened. Iron Man shouldn't have happened. Like you. Let's just go down the list. Like, Robert Downey Jr., while it's perfect casting, but at the time, remember 2008? Robert Downey Jr. wasn't doing a whole heck of a lot. You had the dude from Swingers directing. You had a B-list Marvel character that was only being made because everyone else owned the rights to the good ones.
Well, I would make a strong argument that Iron Man has never been a B-level character.
Yeah, because you read comics. I'm talking about the real world. You know, like, he's not Spider-Man. He's not the X-Men. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not on their tier. He's not. And everything was stacked up again. And what did they create? This generation's Star Wars. That's what Iron Man is. Like, it's the first movie that started all of this. It's incredibly rewatchable.
Yes. And look, it's in my freaking top 3, so it's not like I hate it. I just don't like the argument because it's first, it's the best, and that is the argument.
I am not making that argument.
No, it's the best because it's the best.
It's incredibly rewatchable.
I mean, the minute you start watching that movie, like that first scene, like sitting in the Humvee with the other military personnel, and he's arrogant, but he's sociable. He's like the yin and the yang of everything, like wrapped up into one. And that initial conversation sets the pace for like his character for like the rest of that movie. And like I thought his portrayal was awesome of Tony Stark. I loved I love the whole like transformation of his character from beginning to the end of that movie. The action was great. The
villain's great.
Ironmonger is one of the best villains. Like,
Jeff Bridges' version of that character is amazing. My one knock against it, to split hairs to get Avengers put higher than it, is Thomas Howard. Or is it Tom? It's not Thomas Howard.
Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard. Like he's not as good as Don Cheadle as Rhodey, and it's a problem. Like it's not a problem because it got fixed, but
he's also not in the movie. Like, War Machine isn't in that movie. You know, like, it's
no, but Rhodey plays a role. He plays an important role.
He does.
Like, I mean,
he does.
And so, like, I guess what I'm getting at is I can't find a glaring thing in Avengers that I can find in watching Iron Man. Like, when I rewatch Iron Man, I'm just thinking, man, he never comes back for this role.
I don't know. I could see in Avengers, it's more of like the Breakfast Club of superheroes. Like they never really like each other. Like, they kind of tolerate each other, but like there's a lot of different personalities that are clashing, and it takes like the better part of the movie for them to. It takes Coulson dying for them to kind of all kind of meld and go into that, and that's when the movie starts to get good. Like, to me, like, that's when it gets good. Don't get me wrong, it's a great movie, and like I love and enjoy watching that movie, but I just think it takes a long time to develop the Avengers, like to get to that battle.
Okay, yes, it does, but I think that is purposeful. I think that is intentional. But I will challenge Zach on this because I know what'll happen if we have this conversation and he goes back and watches Avengers. that scene with Cap, Thor, and Iron Man fighting each other is worth everything.
It is. It's really good.
It is worth everything. Now, you know what? I lied. There is a huge doc on that. Is that Hawkeye means nothing in this film?
Yeah.
That is a problem, and it continues to be a problem.
Well, he also shoots, 18 quivers full of arrows that he doesn't have on him throughout the course of that battle. But and Avengers has some of my favorite lines. So it has some of my absolute favorite lines, like, I have an army, we have a Hulk. Like that's my secret. I'm always angry. Like the whole scene where the cop comes up and he's like, "Why the hell should we listen to you?" And then he takes out 3 guys right in front of him. He's like, "Okay, everyone, I need these people over here, these people over there, go, go, go." Like does everything Captain America says right afterwards. It's like there's some amazing moments.
I think that's probably ultimately why I put Avengers over Iron Man, is because there are so many just memorable moments that I'm never going to forget. Like, I'm never going to forget RDJ's first portrayal as Iron Man, but I'm never going. But that is just a constant, as we've seen for 11 years of films. I am never going to forget the circling up. I'm never going to forget the 3 of them fighting against each other, at the beginning of the movie, and seeing Thor slam down and hit the shield, and him not be able to break the shield, like, or even just the Hulk following Black Widow scene, like.
Well, I would also throw out there, like in Iron Man, though, like the scene where he gets shot out of the sky by the tank and lands and just shoots the sticky missile at it and walks away as the tank blows up in the background. I mean, that's just iconic,
Or how about Mark Ruffalo, his portrayal of Bruce Banner? And my wife is the one who pointed this out the second time we watched the film, and I never noticed it, but now I see it every time. When they first get onto the helicarrier, Mark Ruffalo's portrayal of Bruce Banner, of just being the shy, antisocial character, is so well done. It's just so well done.
And the way he just plays it as he's someone that has a burden, and that is his portrayal of Banner. He's trying his hardest to not let go. And then that's what makes the scene at the end when he shows up and the huge things flying down Broadway at him, and he lets go because he has to. And that's what makes that such a powerful moment. And I mean, it's,
All right, I break. Let's put Avengers at 3. That's fine.
Well, here's my thing is, Iron Man it's this generation Star Wars. Like when we were all kids and we were watching, the first iteration, like Star Wars Empire and Return of the Jedi, and it changed everyone's world and everyone went crazy, and it's still a thing all these years later. Iron Man was that movie for an entire generation, and for me, it's the one movie out of all this I've seen the most. Like, I still watch Iron Man. I still love it. Like, if it's on TV, I'm going to sit down and watch it. It's just so pitch perfect in every single aspect. Like I mean, we've gone on at length about Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Tony Stark, but there is no better casting in the history of movies. Like, it's just he is that character. It's just so perfect. And it's got humanity. It's got, emotion. It's in everything. It's like this outlandish world, but to Shannon's point earlier, it's all believable in the scope of that movie. And I think and when you look at the deck stacked against it before it came out, the fact that it is the movie it is and succeeded despite all of that, I think it's insanely important. And that would be my argument.
And you know what? Also, it's one of the few films in this Marvel universe that has a twist that you don't see. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first saw Iron Man, I didn't think Jeff Bridges would betray him like that.
No, yeah, I agree.
And so and we can look back in retrospect and say, oh, you should have known, but I didn't put two and two together. Like it was shocking to me. And then also, like, I'm so glad they told his origin story correctly, with him going, becoming basically a POW and being put into this hole in the ground and him building his way out. And that's how we know, like, we already kind of know how Endgame is going to go. He's going to build his way out of it like he always does, So yeah, I agree. I agree. Avengers at 3. I agree.
Okay, well, now that we've got that situated, and I can't talk about Winter Soldier, you two have to duke it out between Iron Man and Winter Soldier.
Zach, come on, man.
So for me, I actually go back and forth between these. Now here's where I stumble, because for me, Iron Man, I think, is the most important movie of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I think Winter Soldier is the best movie of the Marvel Cinematic. Like, for just the movie itself, like, take it, put it in a bubble, just watch it, press play. Winter Soldier has the best character development. It has the best villains. It has the best plot. It's got great redemption arcs. It has, it ties into the prior movies almost seamlessly.
It's the first time Marvel broke genre.
Yeah.
In their films. Like, it's a different genre than the rest of the movies that had been shown before it.
It's a political thriller. That's what.
It's a political thriller. And Robert Redford's betrayal, you did not see coming at all.
And by the way, God, he's just so good in this movie.
Yes,
like,
he
is. You know what it is? You know the thing? Here's the thing about Winter Soldier. It fucking reminded me how good of an actor Robert Redford was.
Yes.
Like, it's one of those things, like, I'm like, no, oh yeah, this guy has amazing chops. Yes. Holy shit. Like,
yes. And also, you know what it also did? When we first see, like, we go to moments. We talk about moments all the time. The moment Winter Soldier has the shield thrown at him and he just turns around on the roof and grabs it.
Yep.
And like, he knows, like, he just reactionarily knows what's coming. And when Sebastian Stan being, in a way, I think Sebastian Stan does a better job of being Bane than Bane being Bane in Dark Knight Rises, and being just this imposing force that you just can't defeat, you can't overpower. And me being reminded, that's the douchebag from Hot Tub Time Machine. I agree, everything you just said. Praising this is exactly why it's been my favorite film from the moment I saw it. And 2 weeks ago, when Lisa and I sat down to watch it, it still continues to be my favorite, because it is the tightest story of any of these movies. It's the best story of any of these movies. It really is. It's the best narrative.
It even has Crossbones in there for a little bit, which was cool.
Anthony Mackie owns the character of Falcon, and it's the only movie that gives Black Widow any character development.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that needs to be praised, because she's in all these movies, but she's just the hot fighter chick in all these movies, except for except for this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's so well done, and it's so well balanced. Like, and also, it took the guys who made Arrested Development on the map as directors of action flicks.
Yeah. Like,
because the action is freaking incredible. And you said this last week, Zach. Cap 2 is what made Cap look like a freaking superhero and not just a guy who fights really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his powers are shown in this movie, and they're not better than any other movie.
Can we just take a minute though? Like, I just bought it on iTunes just because you guys are talking it up so much. But can we just look at this picture that they put up here? Like, I don't know if you could see that, but it kind of looks like a glam rock picture of Bucky right there.
Yeah, that's a little My Chemical Romance-y. You know,
I'll take it.
Real bad shot.
Like, and just it has a political message.
Mm-hmm.
It's not ham-fisted, but it has a political message.
Well, and the turn with Hydra,
yes,
like it's one of those things where like they watching it. I remember being in the theater, and when the Hydra takeover starts, it becomes like oh, holy shit, they did that. Like they really went for it. Like we're getting rid of Shield. Like Shield is Hydra now. Like what the hell?
And then the show Agents of Shield followed suit, and Hydra took over them too.
Yep, which was great.
Oh my gosh!
By the way, Agents of Shield, pretty underrated show. Like that was a good show.
Very much so.
I'm really surprised it's coming back.
It is in its 6th season right now, and apparently they're about to follow what season 2 of this show did, or season 1. It is going to be affected by Endgame, like the show will be affected by Endgame.
Awesome.
Season 4, I think season 4 is the best season. Doing it for half the season with Ghost Rider, and the second half dealing with Ada. Like it was so well done.
Yeah, that was really cool.
But I just think I think that Cap 2 is the epitome of storytelling that they wanted. They wanted to be able to tell, like, because I won't lie, the Captain America comic is not that interesting at times to me. Like it's probably, if I want to read a history book, I'll read a history book, and sometimes that's kind of what Cap felt like. But this specific movie showed me what a Cap story can be better than a lot of the actual source material shows me. And I just think that's just a really awesome feat to do.
Yeah, I think it kind of has to be number one. It's just because like I started the whole thing. I mean, take it in a bubble. It's the best movie. It's just the best movie. So
I mean, you're right. Iron Man is the most important.
Yeah.
But if we're ranking these as best movies, like
and
Cap 2 is it.
And it has the elevator fight scene. So
freaking good.
So good.
So we're just gonna go ahead and get these started.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this started. And just and also let's give credit to Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Who does a great job in this role. You know, I'm glad that they try to give Maria Hill more time too. You know, Colby Solmers, or however you pronounce her last name.
Boulders, I think.
Yeah, like, you know, I thought she was underutilized in Avengers, and you know they try to give her more face time. And also, here's a scene that a lot of people forget about to mention when talking about awesome scenes in Cap 2, is Nick Fury being chased down by Hydra.
Yeah.
And in the car chase. And he gets away, and then all of a sudden Winter Soldier is the one who uses that magnetic gun with the bullet that so dude, we watched it 2 weeks ago, and Lisa and I were like, dang, this thing holds up so well.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's almost timeless. I mean, there's some tech stuff, but like I can see 30 years from now that's still a great movie. You know what I mean?
And we talked about this. I don't know if we've talked about this before, but if you watch Avengers and then just put in Cap 2, just watch those two back to back, the way the fighting is filmed is completely different.
Yeah. Like, we touched on that last week.
They pull the camera back, and you get to see actually the punches, and you get to see the punches being thrown. It's
well, I'm sure because a lot of it is just not so CG based, where a lot of the combat in Avengers is, you know. And so just that alone, like you can make guys look stronger or faster, but they can actually still fight. So,
and I mean, I think this film starts. I know that they reference Avengers and Avengers 2, but I think Cap 2 is where we truly get the deterioration of faith in Shield and superheroes.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Know, like in this world, that is. I'm just trying to think if there's anyone else like that just really stands out in that film.
Well, I feel pretty good about having it be number one. I feel pretty solid about that.
I feel pretty solid that Shannon needs to watch this film.
Yeah, that's.
I just bought it, so like, there's no more excuses. I'll do it. I'll get it.
That's some BS, Shannon.
I know, dude. I'm sorry. I let you down. I had every intention of watching it this weekend, but things got busy.
I understand.
I'll have a recap next week.
I'll watch it. Shannon, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. All right.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry, Dad. I learned it from you, Dad. I learned it from watching you.
Yeah, right. All right. So, shall I give the main rundown then?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Let's run.
All right. Here we go.
Starting from 1. Start at 1.
Starting at 1, Winter Soldier. 2, Iron Man. 3, Avengers. 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. 5, Thor Ragnarok. 6, Infinity War. 7, Black Panther. 8, Spider-Man Homecoming. 9, Civil War. 10, Ant-Man and Wasp, which, just to pause for a second, shocking, actually, that's a top 10 movie. Like, when you really think about it, that's surprising to me. It's great, but yeah, top 10. Number 11, Captain America, the First Avenger. 12, Doctor Strange. 13, Ant-Man. 14, Captain Marvel. 15, Thor. 16, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. 17, The Age of Ultron. 18, Iron Man 3. 19, Iron Man 2. 20, The Incredible Hulk. And 21, Thor, The Dark World. I feel very good about this list, actually.
Yeah, I think we did a good job.
I do too. Even though I think Captain America, the first Captain America, is too high. That is the only complaint I have.
Don't even start, because I'm gonna go there with Spider-Man. So
I think I do. I think this list is excellent, and this is one of those situations where I don't think, like, if you ask me tomorrow, I don't think a lot of this would change.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the only thing I can think of is, let's do it like in golf, where like when people tie, everybody's just at 1, and then they start off at like 6 or 7, like, when the score changes, like 1 through 5 could easily just all be 1.
Yeah. There's like 1A, 1B. Yeah.
It's not like our Fast and the Furious, where I could probably wake up one morning and say, how the freaking crap did I put Tokyo Drift at 3? Right. I could see myself doing that. But here,
I have done that.
I'm not going to want to change that, but I will say this. We probably we're not going to announce it tonight, but I do look forward to our next series of rankings, because this is fun. I do enjoy this.
Yeah, this was a good couple weeks. I had a lot of fun with this one, but
next Thursday, guys. Thursday.
In game. We are in the end game now, and I am here for it.
Does everybody have their tickets already?
I do not.
Yes,
I do not.
I'm seeing it Thursday night at 7:15 in an IMAX theater.
If I see it, it's going to be Sunday. So,
we're talking about that really quickly, because I do need to go to bed. It's almost 1. I highly recommend anyone who lives near an AMC theater to do the AMC A-list. It is $20 a month. You get to see 3 movies a week, as many times whatever movie you want, as many times you want, for IMAX 3D. You get 10% off all snacks purchases, and it's only, like I said, it's only $20 a month. And Lisa and I did this because we kind of realized when we go to single movies, we're paying almost $30 for a film and then the babysitter. And so now we can go see multiple movies, and really we're only paying the babysitter. So just wanted to recommend that to people. And if AMC wants to give us an endorsement, what's up?
Yeah. Hey, AMC. Get at your boys. But anyone else have anything before we do the wrap up?
No. Have a good week, guys.
Right. Well, yeah, get at us on Twitter, get on the Facebook group. We'll post this whole list once the episode goes live, and we will discuss it in depth on there. If you feel like you want to tell us something, give us a review on iTunes. It helps us out, and we appreciate any feedback we get. Until then, I will say have a wonderful week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.